Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the EmpowerMAN podcast. It's your boy, Mikey G, coming to you live from the free state of Florida, home of Governor Ron DeSantis, or as people in other areas call him, Ron DeSanctimonious. But one thing, he is not the governor or was the governor of South Carolina. So let's delineate between the two. And today I am joined by the one and only, the man who made the term husky famous again. He is the man whose shoulders are as broad as the East Coast to the West Coast. He is the proponent and spokesperson for testosterone. And we're not talking about that Frank Thomas testosterone because, oh my God, that is Greg Tedora. He's my buddy. He's your buddy. He's the champion of the First Amendment, Second Amendment, not First Amendment, because he likes to speak his mind. He is the gunslinger from Stamford, Connecticut. He's my boy and yours. Let's give it up for the patriot, the parent, stuttering there for a second, and the patriarch of his family, Mr.
Yes,
Greg A. Tedora the First. Sir, how are we doing?
How you doing, Mike? I'm good.
I'm great. I have no excuse. I don't know why I fumbled my words before, but I have zero excuse. I'm having a protein shake. You know.
If Ernie's listening, he's dying laughing right now. That's why I'm laughing so hard.
And that was completely, unintentional too. So
What's up, Ernie? Thanks for that.
It was completely unintentional. So it wasn't even something I was trying to do. How we doing?
Good. Just got back from a funeral of pretty much my oldest friend since I've known him since I was 7. I swam with him, my boy Gooch, and his mother passed away. She was a great lady and the ultimate definition of a matriarch. 7 kids in the family, 5 girls, 2 boys, and they did an amazing job. So my hat's off to her and rest in peace.
Yeah, that's it's probably never easy to lose something like that. But lived a long life, which is huge. So what a legacy, right?
Yeah, and it's cool to see a few of us that came from back in the day. Like that bond is strong, and he knows what I mean. So it's good to see a few of the guys from way back.
Well, that's good. Yeah, it's good. It's always good to always kind of go back to your roots a little bit in regards to relationships.
For sure.
Kind of get you grounded a little bit, makes you remember where you came from and part of your family.
Good memories.
Well, condolences to your friend's family.
Yep.
And knowing that both his mom's in a better place, which is
she's now with his dad, so they're together.
That's cool.
They were married 63 years.
Wow.
Or either 63 or 67. That's phenomenal.
63.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't think people can stay together for 63 minutes now, let alone 63
I was just going to say 63 minutes. That's tops. Yep.
Wow.
Different time. Different era.
Yeah. Different values.
Way different.
Different values. And, we can kind of tie that into what we can talk about here today in regards to, one of the things we want to focus on, I think, as guys, and the biggest thing that I get feedback on is dating.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And believe me, I'm no expert. Far from it. But, to have conversations, about things that, I think guys face, people we know face, people that you read about face. I think to have these conversations and the
things that we faced back when we were dating,
Sure. Yeah. And things that I face as I continue to date. And, but as you get older, you get more set in your ways and you realize that you can flip the switch pretty quickly.
Oh, right? Yeah.
So, one of the things that we're going to talk about today is, the feeling that we get is, why won't a girl like us? It's like you meet somebody and you do all these nice things for her, but you're waiting for the light bulb to go off. And like, why can't you see? Pick me. It's like, and they, kind of either put you in the friend zone or they overlook, oh, he's just my friend. Right. And we talked about the guy and girl friendship dynamic. But we'll just get the conversation going here, Greg. Why do you think guys have a hard time accepting that a girl is just not into them?
I mean, listen, it's a tough question. Every situation is different, but I'll
Mm,
take it from this angle. I think guys have a hard time accepting that a girl's not into them because I think maybe in the guy's head, he checks all of what he thinks her boxes are. So maybe on paper, he's good, or maybe his image of what he thinks a girl should want is him. And obviously, that's not the case. If she's not into you, you are not checking all the boxes, or there's something that she wants that you don't have, or maybe she's just fucked up. But whatever. I'm just saying, maybe he's portraying an image on her behalf, and you can't do that for somebody. So
right.
that's how I take it. What about
Right.
you?
I think a guy has a hard time accepting that a girl is not into him. I think it's more self-reflective in regards to it's about the guy, whether it's not being accepted growing up, looking for validation, trying to prove that you're good enough, whether it's for your mother's love, your father's love, your friendship's love, and again, our past tend to kind of we don't do it intentionally, but we bring our past with us. I'm guilty of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna,
I'm
and I,
guilty.
I, I, I work on it, and I'm cognizant of it. Things happen, and I realize that. So I do bring my past sometimes into present day relationships or present day situations with girls that I'll date or I'm interested in. But I think it's more of a deeper internal thing for a guy. I we should be able to, and I had just talked to somebody, and it wasn't a right fit, and I knew that right after the last time I kind of texted her. I was like, not really the right fit. But I said, well, let me give it a shot anyway, just so I can know. But she actually said it before I could. She's like, "Yeah, this is very fitting." So I wish you all the best. I was like, "You too, thank you. Move on, next."
Okay, all
Not
good.
like, yeah, not like, oh, let me just see if I can reach out to her and prove to her that no, it's not. It's done. Move on. It's like like my friend years ago said. Last I checked, they're still making babies. Last I checked, there's not a shortage of men or women. No matter what your cup of tea is.
Well, I think there's a shortage of real men out there, but that's just my opinion.
And we can say maybe there's a shortage of
Real women.
from your lips, Greggy T. Moving on to the next question.
Yeah. Don't get me
um,
started with it under 5 minutes. You gotta wait. You gotta warm me up, Mike.
oh, Greggy T. I'm throwing pure gasoline on this fire today, sir. Oh
Oh
my
boy.
God. Um, is persistence a good thing or a bad thing as a guy? Remember back in the day when a guy was persistent, right? We've heard stories about like your
50 feet.
friends, right? Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah,
little inside joke for everybody. Anyway.
little inside joke for those that know.
Yeah.
But you remember like your friends' parents were married for 63 years, right? You hear stories about people that like, well, I didn't like him at first, but then he just kept coming around and it kind of grew on me. Like, what
Yeah.
is persistence now in 2024? Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
Um that's a tough one. I'm a fan of it. I think it is a good thing. Obviously, if you don't cross the line or get into legalities or stalking, that's not what I'm saying. But I think genuinely pure persistence, yeah, I'm a fan of it. I think it's good. And it also, I think, depends on where you are, like in the country. I'm sure it's good in like Montana or South Dakota. I don't think it's that good in like New York City or, some of the other places that we've all been to. But I think persistence is good. It might not be received well. That's a different topic or a different, ending, but I'm okay with persistence.
I used to be,
Okay.
but now it's just one. It's not like it's a one strike rule, but I think you get to a point where it's all about what you're willing to tolerate.
That
If
I
someone
agree with.
if someone tells you no, I'm not interested. There's a part of you, like, a lot of guys like to chase. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's a two-way share. I think a lot of girls like to chase
A
too.
lot of girls like to
But
chase.
I think if a girl said that, like, I'm not interested, the one strike rule, which you know me, I was very much into that. However, I do like persistence. I would want to know maybe why. So maybe it's okay to ask that.
There you go.
And if she's cool and real, she'll keep it real with you and tell you why. Then you can delineate from that if you want to be persistent or you just want to keep it moving.
Delineate's a big word, man.
One an episode. I'm done. I'm done. That's all I got, Mike.
No, I think that's a good thing. That's a good observation. I mean, we heard back in the day that the best way to get a girl or to like somebody is to kind of treat them like garbage. I heard that. I heard
I
that from.
never
I
treated
heard
a
that.
girl like garbage to get her. I just was never like
Yeah,
that. I was just, if I liked you, you knew it, and that was it. But
yeah,
yeah, but I hear you. We know people that, guys are like dicks to girls. Girls kind of like that, and the whole like, which I can't stand, the bad boy image. Like, okay,
yeah,
and then you get it, and then something doesn't happen, or something happens that you don't like, and you're left crying, and it's like, we told you so, but you wanted the badass, so that's what happens. Anyway, sorry,
yeah,
I'm back.
yeah, yeah. I had a friend of mine do a social experiment once where he was kind of a jerk to a girl that he had liked, and you know, um, when he met her beginning of the night, he liked her, right, but didn't want to be nice to her, so he was a jerk to her the whole night, and he was nice to everybody else, and she couldn't figure out why he wasn't nice to her.
Hmm.
And then this same friend told me that he ended up, going home with her at
Hmm.
night. You
Yeah,
know, and so it was an interesting
it's like the little kid that pulls a girl's
paradox,
hair in elementary school, right?
right?
He's pulling your
It-
hair because he likes you.
right. And to rational human beings, like, right, there's other ways you could tell me you like
Yeah,
me without pulling my hair or being a jerk to me.
yeah.
But it's just interesting the different things that in regards to dating and different approaches, especially now as you and I are older. It's a different generation. It's a different age.
Just the stories you
Technology.
tell me, and from what I hear from other people, it's just a wild environment, man. It is completely different from when we were younger, and it's a whole different world to navigate, man. It's wild to me.
It's a whole different world too,
No one
all
talks.
no, and all ages are affected. Let's make it clear. It doesn't matter if you're 28, 58, 59, 60, 30, 32.
Mm,
There's a 18. Like it's a social thing. And I think that's what I want to hop into next year, Greggy T.
okay.
Social media. We talk about social media a lot. What do you think? How has social media played a role in acceptance of a girl like not liking them? Like you see a girl, let's say, we joke about it. We talked about it last week. The girl in a bikini that talks about how fierce she is, and you reach
Mm,
out to her to say how, oh, you look great, and you get no response back. And then you're like, well, I just reached out to you to let you know how great you look. Because inside you wanted a response from her and she
mm.
didn't give it to you. So how do you think social media has played a role in accepting a girl's like decision on whether or not to respond to you or whether or not they like you?
So, in I think there's a couple different layers to this. Layer one is, I think it's made, and I'll say guys too, more acceptable with more faults, if that makes sense. Somebody's more
Mm,
fucked up and has issues or problems. And I'm not saying everyone has issues and problems. That's not what I'm saying. But like,
right.
in your face problems, they don't, they're just, maybe they're not good people and they're making poor choices, and they're just not living a good life. And but I think, but they're on social media and they're getting attention, which is what we spoke about. And I think it wears down the wall of no acceptance, where now you start to maybe accept that person because you see them every day and they're all messed up, they're dealing with their things, and it's, you become a little softer to that and more accepting of that. That's like layer one. I know that's kind of a weird deep answer,
Hmm.
but, and then I also just think on the other side, or the next layer is, and I'm talking about girls because we're guys, that a lot of the social media for girls out there, it hates on the guys. It hates on masculinity, it hates on real men. and it hates on what they call the alpha male, which is a good thing. Hold the door for you, provide, protect, all those things which you and I grew up on and were taught. Those are frowned upon, I think, especially in the majority on social media. And the girls see that. So when they see a guy like us that's confident or whatever, they mistake it for, oh, they're cocky or they're assholes or whatever. And oh, I don't want a man like that. And I think that skews their perception and it starts to deteriorate what I think they really want at the end of the day. It's funny. The show Yellowstone's super popular,
Of
and
course.
all these girls, oh, I want Rip. I want Rip. Rip's a badass, and Rip takes care of business. They all say they want a guy like that. But when you have a guy like that, you don't know what to do with it and you can't appreciate it. And you end up with, I'm not going to say the word, my favorite word, just a wimp and a simp and a guy that you could just like walk all over and treat like shit. So they all want the fantasy guy, the strong, confident, kick ass, protect, provide, all that. But they want the pretty boy that is in his mom's basement and can't fight his way out of a paper bag. That's what
Yeah.
social media, in my opinion, has done to something like that.
Yeah, and I think conversely, like with guys, when there's a great woman in your life and they say they want X, Y, and Z, and it's right in front of their face and it's presented to them, they'll tend to look for like the faults in somebody. Oh, her curves are not this, or they'll go to social media and see a girl in a bikini. That's what I want, or this is what I
Hmm.
want, not someone like this. And I think
Yep.
guys are guilty of the same thing. It's not that the grass is greener on the other side, but they tend to
Yep.
have something. They tend to sabotage it. Like most girls tend to sabotage, like you said,
Everyone's
the
always like, "Oh, the
fantasy
grass
guy.
is greener." You still got to mow that shit, no matter what, anyway. And to
Yeah,
your point, I'm going to add to it
yeah,
because it makes sense. And I'm talking as a guy who wants to be with a girl. All right, I got to preface that.
mm,
You had just said something. I just forgot. I got to think of it again. But you know, um, you ever see girls get mad a lot when they see a really good-looking guy and he's either wifed up or his girlfriend is not as attractive as him.
that's right.
He might be like a complete stud, and she's maybe like a 7 or a 6. And
Yeah,
everyone's like, "Oh, what's he doing with her?" And all the girls, the attractive girls get upset, like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Blah blah blah. I got your answer for you. The girl's cool. The girl's fucking cool to him. She treats him well. She respects him. They vibe together, and she has his back no matter what. That's the difference. The other girls, you're a dime a dozen, and those guys don't want anything to do with you. That's the answer, flat out in your face. I don't care if you don't want to hear it. The girl's fucking cool. That's it.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. And I think we can look at a girl too with a guy, and we tend to stereotype either
Yeah.
he's got money, right,
Eh,
or he's got this.
yep.
But conversely, the guy could be just a really good dude. She could have really great values and be, a dime,
Yeah.
and sometimes you hit that lightning in the bottle,
Yeah.
and we know a few people that are very, very attractive. But what makes them attractive is their moral compass. And that's why they
Yep.
have the life they have and they have the success because things line up. And I think as a guy, we got to make sure that our priorities line up, our values line up. Everything
Yep.
is kind of, you talk about this all the time, keeping your house in order. If your house is in
Yeah.
order, that girl will, or if a girl, that guy will appear. And it may not be social media. It might be at your church. It might be at your gym. It might
Yep.
be on a cruise ship, like
Yep.
wherever it might be. But I think social media has played a role because you'll see a girl with like 1,000 likes, and like a guy will see that maybe they're lonely, maybe they're isolated. They'll go and look at some type of like provocative picture of a girl, click on like, send her a message, not get a message back in return, and it'll mess with them. And it'll really devalue
Hmm.
them and make their self worth feel like they have no self-worth because they didn't get a response back. So social media, I think as a guy, we got to be careful because a lot of stuff, and you said this, it's fictitious. It's not real. Social media's not real
It's
for the
all
most part.
fake, man. Yeah, mostly fake. And as I get older,
Yeah,
the that means more to me. The person, their values, their
100%.
morals, the looks always matter. I'm not saying they don't matter,
Right.
but they don't mean as much. They don't carry as much weight on my totem pole as somebody that just has my back, just
Yeah,
like I would have theirs. That's how
yeah,
it works. When I was younger, obviously it was different, but
sure.
as I get older, it means more and more to me.
Yeah, I agree. And that comes with maturity. I think, guys,
Yeah.
you hear people about, girls always say that they're more mature than guys, and we've heard that argument and vice versa. I think it's all dependent upon the individual. I know,
100% right.
y- you
Absolutely
know,
right on that.
in a lot of ways, I think, you and I have gone through similar but different situations. And I think at this point in our life right now,
Mhm.
as we get older, we know like things that we valued when we were younger, have tend to kind of
Mhm.
gone away to the things that we really value deep down inside. Because we
Yeah.
want that girl that's hot, that's supportive, that's attractive,
Mhm.
the chemistry is there physically and mentally and all.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard to get all of that.
Of
Eh,
course.
even for a girl
I
looking
was just
for a
gonna say
guy.
it's a two-way street. It's hard to get all of that. And everyone says they want it,
Yeah.
but you gotta work at it. It doesn't just come to you. It doesn't fall from the sky.
Well, nobody wants to work
You
anymore.
gotta put effort in it.
Nobody wants to work anymore.
I
Everyone
know.
looks for
It's the
everyone's looking
easy
for
way
the
out,
easy way
man.
out.
Easy way. Instant gratification.
Yeah, and that's a microcosm of
And it's hard, like,
society.
tying this into guys in the dating world, you can get discouraged with what's out there, especially if you're I don't want to say serial dating in a negative way, but if you're going out on a lot of dates, as you should if you're single,
Right.
looking for the right person, it can get a little demoralizing when it's not a good one after not a good one. Then you start maybe tainting your vision of the women that are out there now. But I'll give an example because I'm drinking water from my Boundless Nutrition. Shout out to our girl, Amanda. So I was at the store the other day and she had her best friend, who's her maid of honor, coming up in her wedding.
Mm.
Like behind the counter, making the shakes and talking. And I bullshitted with them for about a half hour in the store. Her friend was cool as hell, man. So it breathes hope that there's still people out there that have, because we went into like morals, upbringing, the whole, like we talked about, how Amanda is. We talked about everything, school systems, the Northeast first moving out west, like the whole nine, politics, everything. And it was just nice to meet somebody for the first time and just see that there are other good people out there. Especially around here, it's hard to find. You know that. So it was nice to see that. So my whole point of all this is like for the guys out there, like just don't give up hope. They're out there and they're looking for you too.
And my pastor always says, "Show me 5-year friends, I'll show you your future."
Yeah, that's right.
So reevaluate if you're in a kind of a quagmire, big word, with
Oof.
your friends and your social situation.
Yeah,
You gotta always evaluate. As a business owner, you're always evaluating. You're always looking at trends. You're always looking at certain things. And I think as a guy and a girl, you gotta evaluate. Do these people serve? Are they serving my purpose? Are they serving me in a positive light?
that's it. And it's just water, no pre-workout today, Mike.
Yeah, and this is just a protein shake that's going
Okay.
down pretty quickly, and I'm still having a hard time pronouncing my words.
Thanks, Ernie.
Greg, do you think when a girl puts a guy in the friend zone that there's a way out of that?
There's always a way out of it. Yes, but it's such a messy question to answer. Yes, you can get out of it if you want to, but do you really want to? Like, just weigh the pros and cons because it could be worth. Is it worth? Because you could lose the friendship over it, and is it worth that for the friendship? If it is, go for it. Or if it isn't, then just still be friends. But is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. anything's possible if you got good game, but that's another thing.
Mm.
Just saying. How about you, Mike? What do you think?
Well,
You agree. You agree.
well, I'm not going to disagree or agree,
You're a fucking politician, man.
but
God damn it.
I will say that, I'll say this: timing is everything.
Everything.
So I think, I think it's good to be friends with somebody first. I've always been that way. I think because you want your girlfriend to be your best friend, and you want to be able to, like, be stupid and silly and funny and serious and
Vulnerable.
vulnerable.
Completely vulnerable.
Right.
Ruthlessly honest. Like, you're not gonna, I'm telling the truth because you hate the answer. That's
Yeah.
what you want. But it's a two-way street. That's what you want. No judgments. None. But that's nearly impossible. It's out there, but it's so hard. So
Yeah,
hard.
and good things take time to percolate. It's like things take
Yeah.
time. You can't just meet somebody and be like, "Oh man, she's my girlfriend." After 2 dates, are you nuts?
I'm a firm believer if it's meant to be, it'll be. And with anything, with getting a house but the same with, everyone's like, oh, I put a bid in on a house. I used to say this all the time when I was helping buyers. Oh, they didn't get the deal. That's okay. It wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't meant to be. And then they got the next one and they were so happy they didn't get the first one. So I feel the same way in this category. If it's meant to be, it'll be. It could take 20 years, it could take 30 years, but if it's meant to be, you guys will come around.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I
And
think.
it's funny you say that because I've been able to reconnect with people throughout my life that have left my life and have come back into my life, and
Hmm.
the interactions have been absolutely wonderful. They've been memorable, and those memories I'll be able to cherish for the rest of my life. It may not have worked out the way
Hmm.
I wanted it, or maybe she wanted it, but I have memories and I have great thoughts when I think of that person or persons. People may leave your life now and they may come back into your life down the road. And,
Yep.
I've had that happen to me, a few times with a few very special
Yeah.
people. I think the friend zone is a good thing in a way because it gets you a chance to know somebody and to build that. And I do think that the timing is everything. I think you can
Yeah.
be friends with somebody. Obviously, I think one thing that we stress, but probably don't stress enough, is nonverbal communication. When you talk to somebody, eye contact is so important. And a lot
Yeah.
of people shy away from that. And I was
I have a hard
just
time sometimes with that.
like that. You
In
know,
general, I'm saying not with a female per se, but just in general. Like sometimes I just have a hard time, and they're right in front of me.
right? Yeah, and it's okay. I think I'm the same way as well. But I think with eye contact, you can speak more from the heart, and it gives off a confidence. Like I think most girls like confident men. And if you could look at someone in the eye and tell them how you feel
Yeah.
or be direct with that person, I don't know if it's
Hmm.
a guy or a girl, if it's a business or work or a friendship, your people can see the windows of the soul through the eyes.
Hmm.
So I think how we communicate with somebody without communicating with them will also play a big role in the vibe we give off. And I think that can kind of ease us out of that friend zone or will keep us in that friend zone. So but Greggy T, here's one for you
Hmm.
as I transition. Why do you think that going above and beyond will help a girl, quote unquote, see the light, that they are the right fit for them? If you have a girl that's constantly telling you no, but you're like, let me do this for her. Let me surprise her with that. Let me do this for her. Let me surprise her with that. Will that turn the girl off even more? Will it? Will the girl tend to shut down, or does the guy have serious issues? If I'm going above and
D.
beyond for somebody,
D. All the above.
really above.
It obviously can turn them off.
Sure.
Um, but I also think, see, that's God speaking, Mike. I think
Oops.
I think it's a. I don't think you should be spending a ton of money or anything like that. You know how I am. I don't believe in that. But I said this story in one of the shows a while back. When I was in college, and you're not supposed to date where you work out. I get it. We've all done it. I asked this girl out for almost 2 years, and she said no for almost a year and a half, 2 years. Nope, 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 nope. She was dating somebody. Nope, nope. And I just kept asking, kept asking, kept asking. I was friends with her sister. I was friends with her sister's boyfriend. We all used to go out. No, 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 no. Kept asking, and then got the yes. And we dated for a long time, and it was awesome. And I was very young. She was a lot older than me. And I give her credit for she was a widow. Her
Oh.
husband died like in her arms. He had like a brain embolism or something.
Oh.
Great, phenomenal shape, good looking guy, like the whole nine, man.
Oh.
Crazy. But and I give her credit. She taught me a lot about everything in relationships and stuff like that. So that's an example of persistence is good because it paid off. But you could also turn somebody off. I've been turned off by somebody pursuing me too much.
Right.
And so it's just it's a fine line. You got to either go for it or just throw the towel in.
Yeah. And I think the older you get, the easier these decisions. I think when you're younger, you're either mesmerized by the looks or by the appeal or like making someone in the image that you want, but they may
There it
not
is.
necessarily fit that narrative.
That's what I was gonna say. You just nailed it. Yep. Yep.
So you get older, it's just like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
next.
Yep.
What do you think is the biggest thing a guy can do to get a girl to like them?
I have the questions pulled up in front of me.
Yes.
The next 3 questions, I'm just gonna take a hard right. So the question is, what do you think is the biggest thing a guy can do to get a girl to like them?
Mm.
Stop trying to get the girl to like you. Fucking work on yourself and like yourself, man. Make it about you. Just do your thing. And if they're cool, they'll be attracted to you. And you're the magnet and it comes to you. Stop trying to fucking do things to get them to like you. This is where I draw a line.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No, I
Mike.
think it's great. Don't be sorry. I mean, great.
Don't do anything to get somebody to like you. Do it for you. And if they like it, they'll stick around. If they don't like it, they're not going to be there, and that's fine because you just saved yourself a lot of time and
Yep.
emotional bullshit baggage. So just
Yep.
focus on you.
Yeah. And I'll say for those 3 questions too, I think we've mentioned this in several podcasts prior, being confident.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Being confident. It's not as easy as going and like, oh, today I'm going to be confident. You got to feel it. You got
Got
to
to work
believe
at
it.
it.
Got to work at it. You
Baby
got to
steps.
know, like, you got to know that you're, like you always said this. We talked about this in certain situations. Like, we're the prize, right? When we look at, right, you have to have that mindset. Like, you're the gem.
And it's
You're
not
the
an
diamond.
ego thing Mike's
It's
talking
not.
about. It is
It's not.
not has anything to do with, oh, I'm the shit or it's not that. It's not that.
I think the biggest thing a guy can do is be confident, make eye contact, but not to the point where it's off-putting. But when
Yeah.
you talk with confidence. Whether you like someone, don't like someone, agree, disagree, talk with confidence. I think that's the
And
biggest
and
way that a girl will respond.
absolutely right. And stand by your non-negotiables. Don't bend. Don't bend because once you compromise that, you're compromising yourself and it's not good. It's not good. So
Yeah,
Mike's right.
and I want to answer this one too because these next 3 questions kind of parlay into each other. What can guys work on to become more appealing to a woman?
Like I said, fuck doing it for the girls. What they should be doing is what makes them more appealing to themselves, whatever that is. It could be working out, it could be getting working on cars, motorcycles, your business. I don't care what it is. Cutting hair, whatever. Whatever it is, do what makes you happy, like truly happy, and then everything else will fall in line, like your family, your friends, your business. Focus on all that shit. The other stuff will come. It will come because you will be putting out all that good energy. It's going to come back your way in the form of the right girl or the right woman.
Yeah. Yeah, and to piggyback off that, I think guys can just work on their health, getting sleep, eating right, putting good things in your body, cutting out the alcohol, cutting out a lot of the
Mm.
gimmicks, and focusing more on if you're healthy, if you it's like garbage in, garbage out, right? So it's
Mhm.
feeding your mind with good information, feeding your body with good fuel. I think when those things kind of line up, I think things will tend to appear right in front of you that you may not have seen before.
Do things that are challenging where they challenge you and you can make small wins for yourself.
Right.
Cold plunge, everyone's doing it. Like I was doing it consistently for a while and then I fell off and getting back in has been tough because I know it sucks. However, as soon as I say, "Oh, I don't feel like doing it. It sucks." I know I feel like $1,000,000 afterwards, and
Yeah.
that feeling you can't get anywhere else. So
Yeah.
I just keep telling myself that it's worth it. It's worth it. It does get easier.
Oh yeah.
Like small little victories, like okay, you're a good shot. Shoot lefty.
Right.
That's a whole new skill set now.
Oh
So
yeah.
just learn things that are challenging, and that helps build confidence. Small steps, and next thing you know, you in 6 months to a year you have built this whole positive momentum of confidence which will
Agreed.
bleed into other areas of your life.
Agreed. And to follow up with that, Greg, if a girl rejects you, how can a guy do a better job of handling that type of rejection?
I still remember the first girl that said no to me in I think it was like 6th grade or something. I called her up and I remember I was on my parents' bed because that's where they had a phone in their room, and I remember like the take the courage to dial that number. And I remember I was like, yo, you want to go out? And she said no. And I was like, what? I remember it to this day, man. And it's crazy. She has like purple hair now or something. I don't know, whatever. Her brother's cool. But yeah, it was weird. But anyway, what was the question? Sorry.
I'm just perplexed that a girl actually said no to you.
Oh yeah, of course. There's plenty of that. But
That's crazy.
what can you do to get over somebody saying no?
Yeah.
I don't know. Dial the next girl or just re refocus your shift, or shift your focus to something else. I mean, you can't force somebody to like you. You just can't.
You dye
No
your hair
matter how
purple.
hard you try, it's not going to work.
Right. I think the best thing a guy can do of accepting the outcome is accept themselves.
Yeah.
We don't know what everyone's got a battle that we know nothing about.
Yep.
Maybe the girl is, angry. Maybe she's depressed. I mean, if things don't work out, one thing I've learned is not to take things personal. Some things you can take personal, but
Which
for
is
the most
hard to
part,
do. It's hard to do that.
yeah, it's very hard. But like, when you meet people, especially when you're single and you're dating and it doesn't work out, or a girl says, I don't think we're the right fit. Okay, cool. All
Yeah.
the best. Take care. Move on. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you can't put a square peg in a round hole. And it's not you.
Nope.
You don't know what that girl's going through. You have no idea what she's feeling. You don't know what her goals are. So we don't know because we're not in the other person's shoes. So
Yeah.
we have to let things go and not take things personal when rejection does happen.
Yeah, because it will happen.
It's
It will
easier said than
happen.
done, too. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
like
of
it's,
course. But
yeah,
practice. It does get easier. Just practice. It is what it is.
yeah. I mean, just go out and get rejected every day. I mean, you're bound to accept it at some point.
It's a numbers game, right?
uh, so here's one thing that I know I've been guilty of in the past. Greg
Uh-oh.
T. Yeah. Dun, dun,
Uh-oh.
dun, dun. What is the problem of periodically reaching out to someone that you were interested in a while ago? Now, both guys and girls do this, bro. You'll talk to somebody, let's say in
Yeah.
January.
Mhm.
Then in April, you're like, let me see what Greg's up to. Hey, stranger, how are you? Question mark. What is good and what is bad about reaching out to someone that you were interested in periodically to check in to see if they're still available? Maybe they'll write back to you. Maybe there's that door still open on a crack. Are there pros and cons to reaching out to somebody like that periodically?
Of course. It's like long line fishing, man. They just you chum the water and you throw this 5 mile long net with 100 hooks in it. That's when it's bad. If your intentions are not good, then yeah, it's bad. But I mean, girls do it too.
Oh yeah.
They'll just throw it out there and say, "Hey, what's up?" Like, but it just depends on what your bottom line is. Listen, sometimes just a genuine touch base, like, "Hey, hope you're well. It's all good." Like I did that when I took that landmark course back in the day. They made you call somebody that I forgot what they call somebody that you haven't spoken to that you wish ended better.
Right.
And I called Deborah, one of my exes, that
Mhm.
we ended things. You know her,
Yep.
and I was nervous as hell to call because I haven't spoken to her in years, and called her up and genuinely she was I first of all she picked up, which was phenomenal, and she was like, I knew you'd call one day. And I was like, oh, I'm like, what's up? And she's like, yeah, we had a great conversation. Since then, always Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Birthday.
Yeah.
She's remarried. I'm super happy for her. She's doing
Yep.
fucking awesome. She knows she feels the same towards me. It's all good. There's nothing like those feelings there, but there's nothing but genuinely good feelings. Like listen, we spent time together. We had a good time. It didn't work out, like you said, timing. But I'm incredibly grateful to have her still in my life, even if we speak 3 4 times a year. It's all good because
Right.
I know it's a genuine place. She also took landmark, and so she's like, what made you call? I'm like, oh, I'm taking this fucking landmark course. She goes, I took it
Ha!
too. She goes, I took it too. What are you on day one? I'm like, yeah. It was either day one or day two. I'm like, yeah. She's like, wow, I'm your phone call. I'm like, yeah. She's like, I appreciate that. Like, it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's great.
So
That's
something
really
like
great.
that, I think, is genuinely cool. But if you're just chumming the waters because you're just looking for something trouble to get into, then I'm not saying that's bad, but it is what it is. Call it for what it is.
Right.
So,
Right. No,
mhm.
I think that's a great point to move on here to the final my final question here. And to kind of summarize what we're talking about, what tips do you have to help someone let go of an attraction?
Is it just like a purely physical attraction,
Well,
or is it like
again,
an infatuation, or
it's reaching out, getting no response, but you keep
okay,
trying,
all right,
or you keep pursuing someone and
mm-hmm.
they're not being receptive. After a while, before the police get involved, which you don't want to get to that level,
No,
or be threatened with stuff like that, or I mean that's the extreme cases, but for most
yeah,
part, a lot of guys they're trying to be persistent, trying to do all the right things. They're
yeah,
trying to follow certain guidelines, I guess they
yeah.
think is right. What tips do you have for a guy to kind of just let go of that, just move on, let go of that, don't reach out to her, let her be?
Listen, after a certain amount of time, you gotta just dead it. Let
Yeah,
it be. Let it be. And just you have to have faith with if it's meant to be or if she wants to eventually reach out, she will.
right,
And she may never. And that's fine because it wasn't meant to be. Like Mike said, it's not
right,
supposed to happen. So you can if you make the commitment to try and keep trying, after a certain point, you gotta let it go.
right,
I'm sure in my example when I was in college, I was persistent. I still dated other people. I wasn't like,
right,
friggin' hermit. But I think after a certain amount of time, I would have just stopped asking.
right.
And just it is what it is. Like, okay, I think you just when you reach that point, you should stop. Some guys have a hard time, so do girls, reaching that point. But that's where I think your friends come involved. Like, hey, you give it up, man. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Like, enough already. Like, let's go out or let's go talk to this person or just keep it moving. But you got to reach that point. You don't want you can't hold on to it forever.
Yeah, and I think you gotta keep check your ego too. I think a lot of guys are their egos are very fragile. So
Mm-hmm.
to hear the word no or to get rejected is
Mm-hmm.
damaging to the psyche. But
Yeah.
again, that's where you have to be confident in who you are, and you have to realize that not everyone's going to be attracted to you. Not every attraction is going to work out. Not
Mm-hmm.
every like on social media or every like on Facebook dating or every like on Bumble is going to be a net gain or a net loss. So you meet somebody, their pictures may not appear what they look like, or you may not get the
Mhm.
outcome you're looking for with someone. So you have to accept yourself. You have to honestly sit there with yourself before you do anything and accept who you are, where you're at this place in your life. And when you can accept that, I think everything else becomes gravy.
And a lot of people differ with. I think guys and girls can be friends. I really do.
Yep.
And you hear it both sides. You hear arguments on both sides. Like, I'm a big fan of Steve Harvey, but he was like, you can't be friends with girls and girls shouldn't have any guy friend. I just don't believe in that because I think it comes down to the individual person and respect and morals and all that come into play.
Right.
Our friend tied up with Phil, myself, we've bodyguarded some interesting people that are in a certain industry. Okay, that get a bad stigma, which I get it, whatever. But and he'll say this too. Just because you did that doesn't mean everyone's like, oh, you hooked up with them and you did.
Right.
No, it's first of all, it's a job,
Right.
and people do it for a profession. But outside of that, they're all not just like animals.
Right.
They're also doing a job. A lot of them. Some of them are
Right.
assholes, but some of them are really good people, and they're not like what you see. It's the same thing as like an actor. They're just portraying a role in a film. It's the same thing.
Right.
So I think there can be that level of friendship without the noise.
Right.
So
I
anyway,
agree.
just thought
I
of that.
agree. Yeah, and a devil's advocate could be. I heard this the other day that if a girl has a lot of guy friends, it could also mean that your replacement is of one of many. If
Well,
she
that
has a lot of
depends
guy
on
friends,
number one, the girl and the type of girl she is. If she's a piece of shit or if she's actually a cool chick. And it also depends on the type of friends she has. Are they pieces of shit or are they stand-up guys?
right?
Listen, girls that are our friends, no, we're good. We got your back. We're not going to try to take advantage of any situation. We're not going to be creepy or anything. We're here to keep the creeps off. Like, we got you. And I think that's possible.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
I agree. I was never into.
Listen, if a girl's creepy and if a girl's out to do bad things, I'm sure the crew of people she hangs out with are the same. So I wouldn't trust the guy she's with anyway.
Yeah.
So
No,
just my
100%, man.
opinion.
100%. And I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing on my end to wrap things up in regards to this episode is that we talk about timing. It's everything. Being
Mhm.
confident in who you are, letting go, being free to let go of that attraction or that type of thing that keeps you going back and trying to get approval from
Yeah.
her. Approve yourself. Be confident in yourself. Be be confident what you bring to the table, and rejection will be a lot easier to handle because you're not everyone's cup of tea. Your shape may not fit in that circle or that
Yep.
square, and
Yep.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Not everything's going to work out, but let go and move on. Make it as simple as that. Let go, move on to the next.
The more work you do on yourself, the more confidence you have, it's not going to feel like a major rejection. You're not going to
Right,
wallow in shit for a week or 2 weeks. It's just going to be like, oh, wow. Yeah, I'm a little shocked, but okay. Because
right,
I still know I'm a good person. I still know I have these good values and morals, and I'm
right,
working on myself. I'm confident, and I have this skill set. I got these good friends. Like it just keeps it going. It's all good.
right,
It's all good.
right. Greggy T, another episode in the books, man.
Yeah, man.
We're really got some good steam going. Got some guests coming up soon. Got
Yeah.
a lot of deep dives into dating and understanding yourself and other people and trying to make sense out of this crazy world we're living in now. I mean,
You
it's
just said
just
it. The
been nuts.
better you understand yourself, everything else gets easier. However, it's very hard to understand yourself. You got to learn and practice and be, you have to be honest with yourself. You
And
got to be
now
honest.
it's tough. Not everyone
It's
can be
very
honest with themselves.
tough. It's very tough, you know, and especially as you get older to accept certain things. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You can't deny it. So
And also being present. People say that all the time. Oh, I got to be present, be more present, but actually be in the moment. Like I'm talking to you right now on this
yeah,
podcast.
they all use
you
it as a
know,
talking point. They don't
Right.
actually practice what they preach. But yeah, 100%,
Right.
100%.
Right. So
And there's nothing better than just being with your friends, like being there, like no fucking phones or anything like that. It's there's nothing better. You're in the moment. You know, it's great.
I agree, brother.
Yeah,
100%.
man.
WT, give us an update for our progress. Where can people reach out to you for some business advice? How's everything going with that? And let people know where they can get a hold of you outside of the podcast.
It's all good. Foreverprogress.com. Forever Progress on YouTube. Forever Progress on Instagram. Hit me up. All my information's there. You can shoot me a message. It's funny, I have a lot of inquiries for private training, which is cool. I'm trying to do more of the group setting because I think it's more advantageous for the community, but I will do individuals. That's fine. I'm not gonna, it's all good. It is all good. A lot of people want one-on-one, and in real estate, people kind of get nervous around other people and egos, and they think like there's like some top secret stuff that no one else knows. That's not the case, but the more you learn it and do it, the more you'll see it's how you handle things. I mean, we all have the same access to the MLS, so it's just what you do with that information and your business focus. And I think most of the privates will eventually all come together in the group anyway, because they're all very similar and they would all get along. So
Right.
yeah, it's all good, man. Thank you.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Well,
And the rum is coming out this year. I'll be down in Miami in a week and a half at the distillery, doing some final things. So it's looking like April it'll be ready, but I'll announce it on here. So CLO Rum, follow it on Instagram, CIELO Rum, made in America, veteran owned. We support the blue. It is all good.
well, I'll look forward to trying
Get your
some of that
drink
rum,
on.
man.
I know we promote don't drinking too much, but you could drink Cielo till the sun goes down. You're good.
That could be dangerous.
Yes, but delicious.
I like it. Dangerous but delicious.
That's
Cielo rum. CIELO.
That's it. Cielo Rum. Check it out on Instagram. I'll put it in the description here.
Sounds
It's pretty
good.
cool. Yep. It's US made in the USA, man. So you know how we roll here.
And that's what's up. It's all about America first.
Real patriotism.
We see what's going on, and let's hope that this year, can not be so volatile, and just keep on loving each other, man. I think that's the only way to combat this, especially with all the stuff going on with the migrants and everything else, and the divide that they're trying to create. Just make it a point to love each other that much more. That's what I'm going to try.
How about Stephen Hawkins on the island? Oh man, they're all the same.
Yeah, well, that should get interesting.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Another great week in the books to all of our, and I can't believe we didn't do this. I just realized this now.
We're gonna do it. We'll wrap it up. It's all good.
Our EMTs, our firemen and women, our policemen and women. Thank you for all that you do. God bless you and your families for sacrificing your lives every day to make our community safe and sound. We love you very much.
Absolutely. And to all the military personnel and their families, thank you for the ultimate sacrifice here and overseas. Be safe. Watch your back. Kick ass. America first. We love you.
God bless.